Thank you so much, Tom. We're so excited to announce our keynote speakers for today. Brandy, our Senior Director of Workforce Solutions, and I have been partnering with Michael and Nathan from Contact Center Management for the last 2 years. Their organization puts on Contact Center Week, which is a national conference that focuses on contact center professionals. We found that our organizations align and have a lot of synergy when it comes to market trends around workforce development, employee engagement, mental health, retention, and technology innovation. We participated in workshops and panels at 3 conferences in the last 2 years and already have 2 more on the books that we'll be partnering on this year. Here's a little bit more about Nathan and Michael. Michael is the Managing Director of Events at Customer Management Practice. He leads a team of analysts and event specialists to deliver an industry-leading series of conferences on customer contact, engagement, design, and innovation. His passion is building platforms where executives can share best practices and solve industry's challenges. Michael joined Customer Management Practice in October 2016. Before, for nearly 2 decades, he produced events on topics from customer contact, international trade, anti-corruption, commercial real estate, and design. And now to Nathan. Nathan joined Customer Management Practice in 2019, where he oversees production on Customer Contact Week, the world's largest conference series focused exclusively on the contact center world. In addition, he advises executives responsible for leading customer support organizations and organizational strategies to influence customer acquisition, retention, and profitability. As a principal analyst, Nathan works with leaders to help customer management market dynamics and develop products to address leading industry issues. Knowledge and sharing is Nathan's passion, and has been that way since back when the new cars came with cassette players. We are continually impressed with the dedicated focus CCW has put around specialty groups such as their women's group and their leadership development group. They have been a great support to us in identifying market trends, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for you guys to get to learn from them today. They are really the most engaging and wonderful speakers that you have ever been able to watch, and we absolutely love them. So please give a great round of applause for Nathan and Michael.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
I know.
My goodness. Well,
It's a lot.
got a lot to deliver over the course of the next few hours. Hundreds of slides to wake you up this morning.
I have to
Gonna
say,
fill you chock full of stats.
when Jasa asked us to do this, and she said 9-hour presentation, I thought there's no way.
It's true.
And there
Here we
isn't. It's going to be a 10-hour presentation.
It's true. Well, once we get through the stats, we'll break for lunch. And then we're going to come back for a discussion. It's going to be so much fun.
It will be done on Sunday. We hope. It's true, though, the team, Jasa and Brandy and Tom, your team is just couldn't have been more resilient over the last 2 years. If you think about
Doing all right there, Nathan?
oh, I'm not very resilient.
You're not very resilient.
If you think about industries that were affected in an interesting way by the pandemic, it was in-person gatherings, to be sure.
That's true. Yeah.
And the curveballs that we threw and the value that they provided just wasn't matched really by any of the conversations we had with lots of people. And I will say this one last thing before we start in hour 1 of the presentation.
Right.
We've never done this in front of people before. Usually it's a webcam.
That's true.
And it's like a thing, so it's much different.
This is true. Wildly enough, we started going back with live events in the middle of last year. We were probably one of the earliest. We couldn't thank Jason and Brandy enough for stepping up and supporting us in so many different ways. They really have been able to elevate even our customer contact events, especially on all things healthcare. So I think we've got a beautiful introduction. Those little clips that you just saw were us running our CCW at Home event. I still have nightmares about it. Back in August 2020, we ran an event for 4 weeks, 3 days every week. We were perhaps people's core entertainment in August 2020 in the heart of the pandemic.
It was right around the Tiger King.
That's true, yeah. Carol Baskin.
All right, okay. Jasa said not to read all the slides, so we'll go here. Okay.
So just to structure up some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, I'll tell you all a little bit more about the customer management practice really briefly. Then we want to talk about the state of customer contact. How many contact center people do we have in here? Throw your hands up. Throw them higher. Be proud. How many of you all have called into a contact center? Oh, I think we all have.
No, there's a person that didn't raise their hand.
Well, that's rude. They're not engaged. Next up, we're going to talk about the intersection of people and technology, as Jace has sort of introduced. These are two of the most important things right now. We need to get them right as an industry. So we're going to dive into a lot of different trends in the market, and then we're going to talk about the importance of those two in particular. Then we're going to wrap up with a little Q&A and discussion with both Jace and Brandy.
On Saturday. I'm totally kidding. I'm absolutely kidding. It's going to be tight, I promise.
It is.
Okay, all right. Perfect.
So a little bit more about the customer management practice. Events is definitely a part of our business. We've been convening people to talk about customer contact topics for the last 22 years. Our Customer Contact Big flagship event has been sort of one of the backbones of that portfolio. But we have a variety of different divisions that deliver research and insights in different ways. We have our Customer Management Practice Research division. We have our Customer Management Practice Digital division, which includes CCW Digital and Customer Engagement Insider, delivering editorial content, trends, and market insight to leaders around the world. And we have CMP Events.
That's true. And it's all built on this foundation of conversations that we have with folks like you who lead contact centers all over around the world, and hundreds of them. So the work that we're going to share with you is the result of qualitative conversations that we've had over the last 6 months, and in the beginning of signature research study from our brand new research division. But on events, she mentioned Customer Contact Week is the largest customer contact focused event in the world. We're going to be in Las Vegas in June. It's one of the hottest month of the year to keep people from leaving.
That's
so
right.
They have to stay in the air conditioning. We'll just give you a peek at what we're up to here.
Come on, old girl. You got this?
You can do it.
No, just the next slide for the video.
CCW is probably the best customer contact show that we've ever experienced, and we've tested them all. Best thing about this is the interaction with the attendees.
I came to CCW this year to meet people from different companies, learn what their companies can do to assist us with our company.
The show so far has been phenomenal, lots of knowledge sharing, and it gives us the opportunity to make connections. It gives us the exposure, the visibility to other companies.
I will absolutely be coming back next year, where this was my first one, and now that I know that I can see so many different technology pieces to consider for innovation, I plan on coming every year from here on out.
So we love that CCW is a really community-based aspect. We love working with the team. They're always really friendly, really supportive, and they really try to utilize our strengths to show the market what's new in the customer contact world, how we can all better prepare to be our best customers, or serve our customers best, and really showcase the power of technology in serving them.
The best thing about this is the interaction. Not only can we solve some of their problems, but they give us feedback on how we should be refining our products and services.
I think we firmly believe in the power of CCW to deliver the message to all customers out there about how we do customer care in today's world.
I hit the button. Oh, there we go.
All right, that's enough about us. Let's talk about customer contact. Throw your hands up one more time if you work in the contact center. Fantastic, wonderful. So we've got lots of trends and things that we're gonna share with you from CMP Research and CCW Digital. There's citations on these. We'll share all this information with you after the fact as well, so you'll have it for reference. I
think we have to finish waiting for him to write. It's it shouldn't be a surprise to folks that are in a contact center or who have never touched it. But the principal outcome, we say NPS and CSAT. We're going to throw a lot of acronyms around. So if there are any that we mentioned that y'all have never heard of or you're interested, we'll answer to the best of our ability, or we'll make it up and look convincing. Net Promoter Score and Customer Satisfaction Score are the priority outcomes for anyone that's really functioning in the contact center from our research.
That is true, and that's very closely followed by the customer effort score. It's a newer score. How many of you know what customer effort score is? All right? Fewer of you. So customer effort score is another very important metric for customer contact leaders, but it's definitely newer than your NPS and CSAT.
And we're driving all these home because this will be the foundation. These are foundational principles for the conversations we'll have. We're going to layer on top of these. So functionally, contact center leaders want to do a good job, and this is how they know that they're doing it. Low effort customer experience is hard to deliver. Low effort is hard to deliver. 2/3 of folks in our research for the last year think that they're doing a pretty good job of it.
Very true. Now, reducing customer effort. Over the past year in particular, people feel like they've really moved the needle on this. You can see that we've got almost 90% of folks that feel like they are creating a more low-effort experience. How many of you all were a bit disappointed in the experiences you were able to provide in like April 2020?
No one.
A little rough, a little rough. Well, over the last year, I think a lot of that has rebounded in a big way. Customer effort is improving.
And it's improving because, according to our research, companies and customers are looking for more personalized experiences, and 2/3 of folks in the group, it's probably the same 2/3 that think they're doing a good job, are really emphasizing this idea of personalization in their service provision.
And one of the reasons why they're doing a better job personalizing experiences is because we're getting a lot better at collecting and actioning customer data. Of course, we know how important it is for technology systems to be connected for that to really be meaningful. We're moving the needle on that, which is fantastic.
We're not moving the needle fast enough. Sorry, everyone. Proactive service is the key to customer retention. Ostensibly proactive before the problem exists. This is really the crux of the future of contact center work, is personalization and proactivity in our approach. I wonder if we there we go.
And then channel strategy. How many of you all feel like you kill it at digital channels? Well, that's definitely lower on the list for all customer contact professionals. They feel like they can deliver a pretty good experience, solid customer experience, through the phone. The challenge with this is not everyone loves the phone so much anymore. Digital channels are obviously rapidly increasing, especially because of the pandemic.
Yep, that's right. We a 45% increase, so roughly half of companies doing a better job of engaging folks in digital channels. And these are agent-supported digital channels, also more passive digital channels. But the point is, we had a pretty big catalytic event, and we're doing a better job of it. But digital is the future in any capacity or in any way. I'm going to throw it over.
So how about metrics? We already talked about customer satisfaction being absolutely critical. Another big piece is to make sure that it aligns with business goals. How much money are we spending on each of these calls, right? So that's the number two metric. Something that I do want to point out here is, and something that is scary to me personally, is that agent experience is in the very bottom of this. It's the least important metric of this list of metrics. It's a little scary because we know that a good agent experience drives a much better customer experience. So it seems a bit misaligned.
It's foreshadowing into the future of the presentation, but it's what we manage, what we measure, and we prioritize those things or we fix the things we prioritize. So as principal issues, problems that we're facing, this isn't very high on the list. We have to work as both in industry and leaders in industry to push it forward so that's also around the table. And it's how we evaluate contact center leaders and how they're effective. I'm standing closer to the computer. Eventually I'm going to fall off the stage. And we did allude to this. So this is an opportunity. We'd like you all to take out your phones. We're going to...
And we can switch over to the Menti right now.
Sure. So while we're doing this, we'll just let everyone know that in our work, we've got just, we say, 4-ish out of 5 agents are working in some form. They're working remotely versus hybrid or otherwise. So take out your phones and go to menti.com. This is an opportunity for everyone, including sort of people that are more introverted to participate, enter this code 98730873 or scan that QR code if you can get it.
It's just like a menu at a restaurant.
It is. Or it's the program. The event program is QR code.
This is true.
On our
Alternatively, you can also go to menti.com and enter that code. And for the folks in the back of the room, that's 98730873. And we see the love in the bottom right corner as people enter the Menti space. We love it. There's only 25 of you so far, so we're going to wait until there's more.
Was even an option. It's like the serotonin that I needed in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
We appreciate that love.
If we stay on this, how high will the number go? We might need.
It's going to get to 39, Nathan.
Till Monday. All right.
All right.
We want to go back one. There we go. What's your current contact center work model? And I'll actually expand this when we're talking. There are some folks who aren't working in contact centers you could leave or answer with your own workplace. Just interested in where you're working now. Maybe a hotel isn't an option. And so we'll use this tool throughout this presentation, and I think Jason and Brandy have 40 or 50 to support the rest of the presentation.
Yep,
it's an opportunity to get
through.
a sense, to gauge where we are. Perfect.
And it's amazing to see. I don't even see one in-office situation. We were actually shocked to know that there was quite a few contact centers across the pandemic that stayed in office. We even had members of our advisory board that were taking those calls in office, even during the heart of the pandemic.
And it's such a place for us to be. I have to hold the microphone like this and stand here.
Perfect.
This is probably your design.
I mean, it's not the first time I've done something like that to Nathan. So let's go to the next slide. We've identified 5 really key pain points for customer contact leaders right now. And we'd like you to rank them. So we're giving you 100 pennies, 100 beans. That's the exercise. And you can weight these. You can put all your 100 beans in contact system centers or fragmented if that's really the most painful thing for you right now. But I would venture to guess that you've got a little bit of pain in a variety of these areas. So weight your 100 points across these pain areas. Again, we got contact center systems are fragmented, and read these off for folks, especially who are further in the back. They'll also be on your phone. Cumbersome internal processes, high agent turnover, the great resignation, the very painful labor shortage we're all suffering through right now. Certainly something that's going to be talked about throughout this event as well. Channels are not seamlessly connected. Or the last one here is contact center tools don't support hybrid work. That's actually why some contact centers really were stuck in the office. Even during the pandemic, they weren't able to migrate to the cloud quickly enough, so that was kind of the only option.
And this is true, again, in our conversations with folks that are running contact centers. They're supporting corporate office staff as well.
Right.
So this isn't unique to this particular use case.
All right, that's good. High agent turnover is the absolute top on that list. That is very, very important to note. So let's flip back over to our to the other deck.
We're getting a preview of where we're going here. But so we created a list of many, many, many pain points. There's lots of pain. And then we said, it's almost what hurts, but what do you care about? It's like, this hurts, but I'm not going to deal with it.
Shockingly, those can be very different.
It's absolutely true. So we studied here mission-critical priorities for leaders. What we're evaluating here on the bottom axis is importance and difficulty. And you'll all read this on your own when you have the deck. We're going to focus here on that yellow circle. It's the most important mission-critical priorities for leaders of contact centers moving into next year. I'm going to jump here.
So those are those top 4. We're going to jump one more time back to the Mentimeter. We want to get one more piece of feedback for you until Jason and Brandy's thousands of mentees later today. So these 4 top issues in the top right here are frictionless customer experiences, retaining talent, hiring talent, technology transitions. We know that you all are facing high turnover as the highest of all of those, so I can venture to guess what's most important for you. But if we can flip back over to the Menti, and you guys should have it live on your phone anyway, since that was what was up. If we could go back one slide to this one. Yes, perfect. Many of you are answering. So hiring talent and retaining talent, the absolute top 2, which totally makes sense. Look at y'all, your pain actually aligns with your priorities. It's interesting how for some, those are a little bit different. Perfect. I promise this is the last time. Back to the presentation, and we'll stay there the rest of the 4 hours that we're up here.
It will be much longer than 4 hours, I think.
Being conservative.
I hope. Yeah, when he moves back. So the key difference here, we're talking about what you want to fix versus what's painful. Cool. And we had this conversation here, and this one, and this takes us to the conversation that we're all going to have with you today. We're going to share where we know what we've learned from our research on the role of technology in supporting people, and then again on people, specifically what we're learning about engagement and retention trends in the contact center industry. And shocking, I think, to no one in the room will be their applicability wide across sectors beyond the contact center.
So we're going to start with technology. So first up here is there's a recent customer service study revealing that 72% of millennials, so younger generations, we're not even talking about Gen Z here, just millennials, believe a phone call is not really the best way to resolve their customer service issue. What's particularly scary about that, it was the earlier slide where the phone is one of the only channels where we're really confident in our customer experience.
That's true. And 3 out of 4 agents, or 3 out of 4 minutes of an agent's time are spent doing manual labor and knowledge retrieval. And so this speaks to the issue of agent experience, employee experience, and the relationship between employee experience and CX, and then how technology can help to facilitate a bridge to the promised land.
I know that automation is going to be another big topic at this event throughout the next day and a half. Only about half of organizations are really considering artificial intelligence solutions and pursuing them as a priority.
That's right. And most people who are using it as priorities still say it's very difficult, which shouldn't be a surprise to the folks in this room.
And I'm going to give you an answer of why I think technology is a bit overhyped. Can I get an amen? Thank you.
Wait, really?
Wait, really? Yes, Nathan. I do think it's overhyped. And I think one of the reasons why it's so overhyped is we're spending a lot of time trying to fix processes with technology as the solution. I think technology is a little bit more about it being a tool in our tool belt. We can't expect to buy technology, automation solutions, any solution under the planet and tape it onto a mess and expect it to fix a mess. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, and so we know that technology, in its case, in the conversations we're going to have today and tomorrow around how we use technology specifically to improve the agent experience.
We actually have a massive, and I mean massive, exhibit hall at our Customer Contact Week event in Las Vegas. We're almost 200 exhibitors, many of them technology solution providers. And there's been so much money wasted from companies being sold solutions when they're actually being sold tools. So it's very important to understand what's realistic, as what Nathan said, and what's not realistic in terms of technologies supporting a solution.
It's the tier 3 agent in the corner, still has a job. Technology isn't going to pull it away, to be sure. And we know that the future is going to drive that slide that I'm not going to go back to. It's too dangerous. I don't want to hit back. With this conversation, we'd love to have a conversation more in depth with some of you folks on cognitive AI. We notice it's a big trend moving forward, and that's how technology is used to think.
And we know that those digital channels continue to be more and more and more important.
That's right. And organizations that build today, it's not too late, will be successful in tomorrow.
And the reality is those that don't, won't. They're not going to be nearly as successful. Now, I will tell you that you all are taking a strong step forward today, because events like these, the ability to benchmark across the table about what's going well, what's not going well, that in its own is putting you ahead.
So every year we do a study called the State of Contact Center Technology, and the thing that jumps out at this here, almost 80% of folks say that they're prepared to address the remote hybrid shift, and that number 2 years ago was negative 1,000%, truly. And so we're doing a much different job. It's just.
And then finally.
Not finally. Now.
Finally. Finally, for technology. When it comes to contact center technology, this is some of the key priorities and goals for the balance of 2022. I think one of the things that's kind of interesting here, we see this actually align with the most important metrics in the business. Reducing operating costs, draw a line to business outcomes. Reducing customer effort, draw a line to CSAT, NPS, and customer effort, What thing that's a little scary about this is we really don't see the agent effort until number 3. The other 2 are customer experience, when we would like to sort of posit that maybe those need to be flipped a little bit. Maybe we need to be focusing on delivering a wonderful agent experience, and that's going to deliver a much better customer experience.
And we're going to do this real fast to keep Jason on time. If we go late, we're going to get in a lot of trouble.
This is true.
Okay, on people. The conversation around people and increasing agent retention is the most critical priority. This is a surprise to us, even more important than customer retention going into next year. And you will not be, so make sure you're sitting down for this, but 100% of the people we surveyed said that better managers lead to increased retention. The same is true with culture, just about the same number of folks, a unique culture, which we have come to define as strong culture.
Now, top 4 drivers of agent frustration. We've had lots of turnover. What's making them leave? We've got 2 factors to highlight for you here. One of them is definitely compensation. I feel like we've seen a race to the minimum wage, right? Agents aren't afraid to, cross the street for another $1 or $2 an hour. Second is systems. So the systems are too disconnected, especially younger employees. Carol, who's been on the tier 3 line for 15 years, has no problem logging into 14 screens. She's so used to it. But your new Gen Zs are gonna throw in the towel when they need to log into more than one screen. Oh, well. Next up is an unclear career path. Younger generations are very interested in their career future. So if you're not delivering a strong career ladder to them, that's also going to be an inhibitor to their long-term success.
That's true. We're going to do a callback here and just suggest here, when you're looking at the screen, the outcomes on the far right here, better CSAT, lower CES, lower AHT. I don't actually know if those actually mean anything. I think we're just putting numbers up. But a good job, right? We know that retaining agents, keeping them engaged, is going to drive those results. These things in this long list, and you can read them sort of on your own, this is what we're studying in a hybrid world. We're saying those are all levers. Competitive compensation, high-quality managers, I would jump that to the top. Just our preliminary findings, which also shouldn't be a surprise. Effective managers are the entire ballgame in terms of both retention and engagement and how they relate to contact centers and otherwise. It's how do we push those levers? How do we jump on them? And how hard do we jump? In a hybrid world, is it different, in fact?
It is.
Yeah, and so this is... these are conversations that we're going to continue to have with all of you and look forward to speaking and publishing on these. How do we do these? How do we influence these drivers to receive the outcome that we're looking for in a hybrid?
So the role of managers is absolutely critical. I think managers, especially your mid-level managers, they have stuck through it these last couple of years. They're still with you. And it will also probably not come as a surprise to you, is managing in a hybrid and remote environment is more difficult. It's a lot harder.
That's true. And compensation's not a silver bullet. Half of you say that, half of you disagree. I think it's a lie, and I'll tell you. And I promise we're going to keep this straight. But if you have a kid and he's in the corner and he's sneezing, you can give him Benadryl, which in our conversation will be like money, okay? And he'll stop sneezing, okay? And that costs money. That's why. It costs money is why. So if your kid is sneezing in the corner, you can give him Benadryl, he'll stop sneezing. But it would be better for you to figure out that he's actually allergic to your cat. You should get rid of the cat, send him to grandma's house. You'll save money on the Benadryl, and the child will stop sneezing. So that's, I don't know. That.
We'll just leave that metaphor there.
I don't know, but you know.
I do. Okay. I do know. And finally, we want to talk about just the performance of managers and agents. I think, for how many years have we thought that work from home was never going to be that successful? All right, I believe that there's more people out there that believe in that statement, yeah?
It's 2 people.
Well, it turns out when you have to do something, you kind of make it work. And we have a crazy, overwhelming agree from people that performance actually hasn't declined that much. Sure, there's cases where perhaps there's been some mistakes made or challenges if people weren't effectively supported, but by and large, performance has not declined that much over the last couple of years. So the challenge of engagement isn't actually about their performance all of the time. We need to be looking at other drivers.
Yeah, that's right. And so the strategies for improving agent retention, at the end of the day, it's about having great managers. We'll talk through these. We look forward to having conversations with all of you today and with Jason and Brandy here in a few minutes about examples, use cases, and how people are affecting change and driving retention through use of engagement tools. But it's safe to say it's more than a Zoom happy hour.
It's more than a Zoom happy hour. So we just want to call back to this one final time. The outcomes here are a better customer experience, and The goals that exist to reach that is a better agent experience. Drum roll, please. And this list of drivers, some of the tactics from the last slides, that is to be the primary focus right now. Not as much of technology as solutions to all of your problems or the like. We can focus on driving a better agent experience. You're going to have a better customer experience.
That's true, or a world-class customer experience.
Which I think is all of our goals.
I know. I just want to point out it's the time that it was in sync.
It certainly was.
I've done 50 of these, and it finally worked on the very last one.
It is officially 9:29. We had 30 minutes. And we'd like to invite Jason Brandy up to the
Thank
stage
you
so we
all
can
very
continue the
much for this.
conversation.
We appreciate this. Thanks. Thanks for the opportunity.